Welcome. In today's video, we are going to continue with building our SaaS. So in the previous episode, we built the landing page. Okay, so in our previous tutorial, we built this beautiful landing page, and there were things that we left behind. The first one was this background image that I told you I'll work upon. So if you went ahead and made a background for this part, that was great. As we said, you have to be creative. At least this image, you can just go and come up with it. But I came up with some design. I went in Canva, tried out some few things here and there, and then I came up with this small simple design. Okay, so we're just going to use this in the background. I downloaded this image after designing it, and then now I placed it in our app. So if you just go back in the images, I placed this invoice BG. Okay, after downloading it, now I'm just going to use it in the background. So we have this section invoice CTA, and this invoice CTA was this part that is having this this button, create your first invoice. It is this section here, and I'm just going to remove this. Okay, I'm just removing this background, and if I remove that and I reload the page just for a second, it said the page has reloaded, and then we have our background, and I think it fits in really well. Okay, this will work for now. You can also just have a design you can put so that we can just move on to the next step. Okay, so after putting that, we are remaining with only a few things. The first one we have to do is adding a footer, and I will do that one very fast. So I'm just going to go create a new component here, footer.jsx. okay, RFC. So just do RFC, and here you can put H2, and then you see footer, just like that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and bring this footer into the layout, not in the page this time. Want the footer to be on all pages, so I'm just going to bring it into the layout. So under the children here, I'm just going to come and put the footer. Okay, so just import the footer, just simply like that. Okay, and if we just go back to our website, at least at the bottom we should see something related to a footer. Just wait for a second for the page to reload. And by the way, I want to take this opportunity to thank those ones who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you for supporting the content. If you have not subscribed, please just head to YouTube and give the video a like, subscribe and share so that we can continue making content for you. I like really sharing this content with you, so it will be so much grateful if you just pause it, you like the video and subscribe. Okay, let's just move on. And I can see something here called footer. So the footer is here. Let's give it some properties. So go back to the footer, and we'll not waste much time with the footer. Just head to Flowbyte. Okay, just head to Flowbyte. Just here and search footer. You can just search footer here on Flowbyte. So when you go to Flowbyte, let me just show you. If it is your first time using Flowbyte is, they give you some pre-made components for Tailwind. Okay, they give you some pre-made components, so you can build some components. You can build them from scratch. Others you don't need to build them from scratch really. because you just be wasting time instead of concentrating on actual important stuff. But you saw at least most of the stuff we build them are customary, like most of these things here. You not find a pre-made section like this one. Those you have to make them. But things like footers, really those ones you can actually make them. So just come here on the blocks, or you can just go and search whatever. Just click on the blocks, and then on the block search here footer. Just say footer, just like that, and then they will bring you these things here, and then click on footer sections. We don't need to make a complicated one, we just make a simple one. We just go with this, okay, a simple one like this. This will work. Just go click on the code, copy this code, okay. So you just go here, and you could just really pause, and you make the footer. You could really just pause if you just went to the if you went to the website we are cloning here. They really have this huge footer that I think you can still make really easily. I believe so. You can just make this really easily if you wanted to make something like this. They have all these important links they have just put aside here. They have all these links. You could just like go and remake this, but I'm just going to keep it simple. Just go here, and you can just copy here, and then just come here in the return, paste this, and then you realize they use it everywhere, this class. So you can just scroll up here, and let's replace this class with class name. So just double click on class, do Ctrl F to find all these classes. There are 15 of them. Do Ctrl H to replace. So I'm just going to replace them with class name, just like that. Click this, and then you will just be having a simple footer. So let's look at how it looks like. If we just need to do some editing, and you can see this is really a simple one, okay, and it fits in very well. I'm just going to remove this logo for Flowbyte, and I put invoicer. Okay, so just scroll down here where we have this SVG. This is their logo, I guess. Just go here, go, and let's remove this SVG. It is a huge one. Okay, just in this link here, there is this SVG here. Minimize this SVG, remove it, or you could replace it with your own logo. And I just put here invoicer, just like that. And then this one, we can just go and say it is a free maybe open source platform for making invoices for entirely free. Okay, just something like that. And then you can just go ahead and you can just put some links here. Okay, you can just put those links in the footer. I don't have right now the match links we can put there. Okay, I don't have much links we can put there. I just see how it looks right now. Yep, so this is our footer, a very simple one. I'm just going to change also this. Okay, just in the footer here, you can just come here and you say invoicer, just like that. Okay, so this is our simple footer, and you can just go and make really a complicated one. At least the skills you have covered so far, you can't just make any footer. And by the way, you can just also copy the designs here. So don't just come and copy the code, but if you're just confused on which type of footer you want to make, they have here footers, so you can just come here, create these columns using grid, and you can just make these columns very responsive easily. There is also this one. I think this one is also a nice one. Okay, so you can also most of these they sell them. You can see they say these components, but then you can actually copy the design. Like for instance, making this one is extremely easy. Okay, according to what we have seen, this is just a grid, so you just come here and make this as a grid, and then you put 3 columns, and then in each column you put this, and it will be done. If you look at it here in these are 3 columns. They have turned them into 1 column, which is really very easy to build. Yeah, so just don't just copy, just come here, look at the design, and if you like it, then you just clone it and build that. Okay, yeah, that would be great if you just first pause the video and then build this one of these ones really, and then for us we could move on. Okay, so right now we have the almost full website. The only part that is remaining is maybe working on this header. I'm just going to quickly really just work on that, so that we just move on. So making this responsive, we could just head to the just go to the navbar. So this is our navbar right now. Okay, if you just think about it, we have a header. Inside the header, we have the first, this is the logo link. So this first one is the logo. And then we have the nav here, this one. And then at last, we have these links. Okay, so we have these links. So according to how you want this to look on the small devices, okay, so for instance, we could first go on this. So at some point in time, we could first hide, you see, up to this point, like 700, everything is actually looking really, really good. So we could just first hide this at some point in time. We can just hide, like on small devices, you could just go ahead and hide these the nav links, and then you can also resize maybe these ones, or you could even decide to entirely hide that navigation, and then maybe you could show the sidebar navigation. By the way, when you're designing this, most especially the header, it is actually up to you to know or to decide on what you want to decide to do. You can spend an entire just playing around with this. Okay, so for instance, I can first hide the nav. Okay, if we just say it, for instance, this one to only show on to only show maybe on SM, and then we could just say by default it is hidden. So if we just do that, just a simple like that, it means that this will only show on small on this medium here. You see, like here, you can just see it just gets lost when it reaches on 600 something. By the way, if you just confused on those media queries, you could only just come to the documentation and you can type in, I think, media queries or something, and then you could just see the breakpoints they are using. Okay, they have their breakpoints, I guess somewhere. Where do they have the breakpoints? You can just maybe search for media queries or breakpoints. Just see here on the, yeah, they are here. So the SM is always referring to 640 pixels, MD is always referring to 768, like that, like that, like that. Okay, so when I say SM, it will disappear. Then that means like it's disappearing at 640. If you just keep looking at it, it disappears at 640. And then we remain with this, these ones. Okay, so you can also just make these ones also disappear at some point, and then maybe you show you show the handbag, or you could even decide to actually make all of them disappear at that point. Okay, you can just make all these ones to disappear depending on actually what you want. You can have a mobile navigation. I think we can just, I don't know if that is a more easy approach. I don't know. I don't know if that is a more easy approach to this, rather than just like because you can simply hide really even these ones. You can just start when they're hidden, and then you show them on some at some point in time. If for instance we also just did this, hidden these, SM, let's say just to do this, if we just do this and we also hide these other ones so they all go at once. Wait a minute. Hidden, but the links are there. Maybe we can hide the links then themselves. Hidden SM flex. They have gone. So you can just find you have something like this. You're hiding all the links, and then you only show the handbag or the menu here. So, and that one can be easily put. You can just come down here, and we can add the handbag menu here. Okay, so let me first get the let me first get that icon. So I'm just going to come here and get the icon from the React icons. Okay, by the way, if you're liking the content, please like the video, and you can also subscribe. So just get here the menu icon. And by the way, we could check how they handled the responsive here. Sure, you could just like really check, but the platform looks as if it's not responsive. I don't know why. I've always just like got challenges whenever we just go on responsive. It looks really weird. Okay. Yeah, they have hidden some links, and they have left their login, and it seems they just brought the links they wanted. They just brought them as the second stuff here. Okay, so that is okay. First, you could show the menu, how you want to handle this can be entirely about you. Let's get here the handbag menu icon here. So I'm just going to get this icon. Okay, so I'm just going to come here. I could put it in a span or in a button. Of course, a button would be more appropriate. Just put a button here, and then let me just put this icon inside, just like that. And let me just import this icon from, so remove this React, and they just say import, and we're importing this icon from React icons stroke BI, just like that. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, just go and see how it looks like. So you can just first go to this, and we see if it shows up here. Okay, so it has showed up, we can just increase its size slightly, and that means we could just go to the button here and give it a class name. So you could just give the class name to the icon itself. You just go here and you say class name, and then you could just add something like text to Excel, and let's see how it would increase here. Okay, so this looks fine. Okay, this looks fine. You could just really go with that. Let's see 3XL, how it would look like. Yeah, so let's go with this. So the only thing we want to put is the on click here. Okay, so on click, what you could just do is you could bring like a sidebar, a sidebar menu to come and just like come here, having those links. Okay, we could just have the sidebar navigation onto this. So you could just have this. Of course, this one we don't want to see it on the big screen, so you can also work on that. This button, it should have, so it should just only be hidden on SM. So just say SM hidden, as simple as that, I guess. So on this big, it should just not be seen, but then when we go on to the small, it is showing, and you can see very easily you are showing the icon and hiding it just like that, just using only one line, SM hidden, and it is only hiding it on these screens. Okay, so that is cool. Now what we want is we could just have into we could have a pop-up. Okay, we could have a menu that is going to pop up at this point. When we click it, maybe it comes on the side here. Okay, so this can be entirely making a component that is going to be a positioned fixed. Okay, so just say here we could just go ahead and create something. So within this header, really, even if I wanted, I could put this into fragments. So let me just put this in fragments and see if this will affect anything. So you can just use these fragments, and normally these fragments, they don't do anything, but they allow you to put more than one items inside here. So let's just continue and see. They must not cause any problems here. Even if I refresh, nothing. Okay, so that is good. So I just come and add something here. For instance, we could just have a mobile navigation. Okay, so let me just have something which has also fixed, maybe. Okay, I just have something also which is fixed, and we could just give it a height. Let's give it a height. In fact, let's start to giving it width. So let's first give it width of like 32. That is how many? 128. Okay, so we could just also give it a background. So let us give it a background of slate. Maybe you could just give it a background of, okay, let's first go with black so that we just see what is happening. Slate, maybe 800. Okay, and I'm just going to give it also a height. So if I just give it a height of screen, so just give it 100 VH, and then let's give it also, we can also give it some other things like Z index. So just give it Z index of 50, and let's give it also, it has height, it has width. Okay, it has fixed, and then it can have top. So you have to have top 0, and then let's say top. You have to say top. Let me see. Okay, top 0, and then you have to let me see. Let's see where this could be right now. If it can be somewhere, and it is here. Okay, and I think it is because maybe we give it right. Do we need to give it like right 0? Let me see if this one shifts it to the side. Okay, so you see we have this this here is having position fixed, and it is even just like that. So you could just also have maybe we can just increase slightly on the width. Maybe we make it let me first remove 30, and right here we have 36, which is 9 rem. Yeah, just go with 36. Okay, so this we can just put pop up our menu here. Okay, and we can design this to have like the links very well. Let's just try that. Okay, let's just try that. For instance, we can first put on the top here, we can just work on putting the cross icon, or the button that is going to really cross. And then we can also find a BG opacity. So just say BG opacity, maybe just say do like 30, you know, just like to make it somehow just try 70. Okay, maybe let's try 90, and we see 10% what to do. Yep, so just want to populate our stuff here. I'm just showing you how you could also handle that. So you could just come and we put our menu here, and we could just copy this design here what they have this, you know, you can just put like the logo or whatever, and then you put this icon. So I'm just going to do that. So here on the side we could just come and put the logo. So just say, and even if you don't make this an anchor tag, just make it h2, and we just say invoicer. And since I want it to be in the flex, so I'm just going to say dot flex. Okay, and inside I put this logo and then the cross button. So I'm just going to come here, get the cross. So just can say cross, or you could just get X and just grab this very fast, this X here, and I'm just going to put it in a button also. Okay, just put it in a button just like that, and inside here put this let's put this, and let's go and import this. So on top here, import, and we're importing this from React icons, from React icons stroke AI. Okay, and okay, that is great. And meanwhile, as we are doing this, so you could just find a better color than maybe this. You could find a better color than that, but I just work with this color here. Okay, we can just work with that color, and let me just give some padding to this. So just a padding of 2, maybe of 2 or 4. Okay, just to make sure everything is really inside. Okay, and then let's give the justify between here, and you can also say item center, so just to balance that. And so for simplicity, let's just work with text text slate 50. Let's just work with text slate 50 as the color of inside items here. Okay, so at least we have now this and the cross icon. Okay, you could just go and make it slightly more bigger than that. I can just simply give it a class and just say text to Excel. Okay, that one will be okay. Now let's just work on, yeah, so this looks like a cross icon. So let's now work on these other links. So you could just go ahead and put these other links down here, and I can just go onto this below this div. So we have this div that is having the header part. You can just give it a margin bottom like a 4, and then below it we can have our navigation. Okay, we could have another nav, and then we can just simply go and put our links. So I'm just going to actually copy this very nav. Okay, just go and copy this navigation. Where is it? Inside the header. Just go and get this nav. Okay, scroll down to this here, just replace it with this one, and now instead is I'm going to say I need flex. Okay, and then I need to say flex core. So this is flex column, the direction, and you can also have gap. Then we can leave these ones. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so they are looking okay. So if we wanted, we could just say flex start, items start here, so that they are all just aligned from the start here, just like so. Yeah, so you can have these, you can see they are looking already okay. I don't have to even work on these, they are really looking fine. Maybe increasing our logo just to make it different in the logo here. I'm just going to add class font bold. I think I can just only make it font bold for now only. Yeah, it will be maybe, yeah, much than that. Okay, so down here what we want is, now I want to add the login and the other buttons, and I can simply also just copy this very div. So they have already a div that is having them here. Okay, just copy this div and simply just go to the bottom here after the nav, just paste them, and let's look at what is inside. So remove this hidden. Okay, and then they're having flex, so you just also add flex core, as simple as that. And then this item, we can also just say item start, then gap, let's leave the gap and see. Okay, so we have the login here. Now we need to give a margin bottom. You could also put these ones, they could be also in flex, but we can just try use actually margin bottom. So just come to on this nav and let's give a margin bottom like of 8. Let's see the spacing it will add. Okay, this looks okay, and even the one that is on this, let's just increase it so that we put some really good spacing. Let me make this 10. Okay, and even this one here, the one on these items, I make it 10 so that it has a significant space to specify how to look. Yeah, so you have the header here, and then you have these two links, and then you have these ones you can log in. Okay, I think this is much more better. So the only thing we just wanted to work on is the opening of this and the closing of this. Okay, That's the only thing that we really need to work on. Okay, so this one shouldn't open just like that. It should only open when we click on the other button. Right now we could hide it using a class. Okay, we could hide it using a class. Where is it? First of all, it will have to be hidden. Where is it? It is down here. So after the header, we have this one. So this one, you see that it has to be hidden. Okay, it will have to be hidden. So let's just say hidden all the time. Okay, so if we just do that, gone. So now let's work on this on click. So we can first create a function, and we're just going to create a state here. Okay, just going to create a state const. So let's just continue this show nav. So you can just say show nav, or you can just say show set show. Just as simple as that, is equal to use state. So use state, just like that, and then by default it should be false. Okay, we don't want it to be shown. Okay, and then since we're using use state, this one has to automatically become client component. I want to show you that error. If we just don't do anything, it will render will run into an error that says that it has to be a client. You are importing a component that uses use state and it has to be a client something. So simply just go on this first line, and it must be the first line, by the way. Use client. You cannot use this on any other line apart from line 1. If you put a key below any of these, it will not work. But after just doing that, putting the use client on top, this should just refresh, and this error should now go away. Okay, so now we have put that, and we're having our state here. Okay, we're having our state, and on a click, okay, so on a click, let's just go, we add on a click, like for instance on this button, this hamburg button, we can just create a function, handle show menu. We just come here and create a function. Sorry, so on top here, I'm just going to create a function after this function, function show menu. Okay, so show menu, this function here, the only thing I just want to say is set, and really you would not even need to create this function. Sometimes you can just let me show you just in a second. Let me first do this. You could just come here on this very button and you say on click, and then on click you can just really do this, write this whole function here. Actually in this place you just say this function and you say set show to true. Okay, set show to true, and then so you can just come here. If we console set show, if we just console show, let me just come here and I console the show, just console.log show, just like that. So if we do that and we are just in the console here, so you can see by default is actually false. Let's click. So when you click, you see we are making it true every time I just click. Okay, so now what I just need to do is to make sure that it is making it true, and let's show this menu. where is our menu? It starts below the header here. So we just control this hidden. Okay, let's control this hidden on. First of all, it has to be hidden at all costs in SM, so that is for sure. Like, it has to be hidden in SM, and that is for sure. It should be hidden in SM. But now on the normal, let's just see if we remove that, you see it is not shown. But if I do, wait a minute, then yeah, it should show up like this. You get, so okay, so now let me just put also hidden and see what happens. Okay, so if we just do that, it, I think, again disappears. So let's control this hidden now, but the SM, it should be hidden whether you click or what. We shouldn't show this. So but then here in the small devices is one we want it, so we are saying hidden here. So what I just want to do is control this, and that means we are going to convert this whole thing. Okay, we have to convert this whole thing into a JavaScript. You can just use tunnel operator so that we inject this. Okay, so what I can just say, if it is true, so I'm just going to cut all this content inside. Okay, just cut this, and then let's just make this one just like this, and let's put the ternary operators. So if show is true, okay, and yeah, so you could just say $. I don't know if I just need to do like that. So if show is true, if this is true, let me see, do I need to do that? Just come here and do this. So if we just put these brackets, I can just say show. If show is true, then we can just show something here, and if it's false, we can also show something there, just like that. If show is true, that means we want this to be shown. Let me paste this. What have I done? Okay, just a second. I don't need these ones. Okay, so if this is true, so what we want is that this hidden should now go away. Okay, this should go away, else then we should show this. Okay, and I guess we could only control this hidden, but you can just do this. It is maybe more understandable. Let's see now. So right now the show is false. That's why it is show is now taking this hidden, everything hidden, just like that. But if we click, let's click this. So you see now it is appearing because show is true. Okay, and now the only thing we have to do is the vice versa now to add this here. So if I just go on to, let me go to this and I add on click. So you just say on click. So on click, the only thing we just need to do is set show false again, just as simple as that. Set show to false, and after this, now if I click this, it should now hide. Okay, so you could just go and actually just add some animations if you wanted. Okay, you could add some animations, but this is already looking fine. Okay, so you see, even if I try to leave this open, so even if I leave this open, you can see it is open, really, like really open. I have not clicked here to close, but then if I just close this and I go on this, it automatically hides, okay, which is really great. So we have the header done, responsive, the responsive header, and everything is handled correctly now. Okay, so that is great. And now let's just go and work. So the landing page is complete. So you can even go to our Trello board. So if I just go to Trello, okay, I can just go to my Trello board. I get that board. I now move it from, okay, I can just go to my workspace, the one I was using yesterday, this one, and the landing page, we can just simply remove it from here. We can now put it in completed. So the landing page is really complete. Now we can just simply get this, designing the invoice. Okay, so you just start now really working on the invoice. Okay, that is an exciting part. And the design you are going to use in the invoice is going to be this design. Now if you look at the design by these guys here, I feel like it is really having maybe more stuff. And you could also go with this approach, like add all these ones. They even add like these icons, blah blah, or add all that. But I'm just going to keep it really simple. I find this one of Zoho. Since I'm a fan of Zoho, I'm just going to go with this one from Zoho. Okay, so first of all, let's first understand what is going on here. Now we aren't going to make it so much advanced to this level. I mean, like, everything you see on this screen is editable, like on this form entirely. Even the word invoice, you can change it to something else, you know. You can change even these descriptions, you can name them. All these are form inputs. Now in the future we can actually just add that. We just accept as many things as possible. Okay, but like these labels, I'm not going to take the labels as inputs. Okay, yes, going to just only take these ones as the inputs, but really they made all entire everything, they made it to be an input. Okay, so the first thing is the design. So the design, I want it actually to look like this. Let me show you. So I want the design to look something like this. We have the actions, on top. For instance, download, print, send. We had how many actions? Let's first see in our Trello. We have here functionality preview. So we have these functionalities. We have preview, we have print, we have download, send, and save online. So we have all those buttons. Okay, so I would want to implement all those ones. Okay, this is going to be the design, something like this on the page. The one of create new is going to be like this. Now another thing that you have to put in mind, that this whole thing is a form, then there should be something else that should hold the preview. Okay, so we'll have also on the same stuff, the same spot, we'll have the preview. So let me just go and create a page for this. So in the app, remember in the header, if you remember what we put in the header, if you remember what we put in the navbar, if you look at the invoice, wherever we just had something like create invoice or something, not in the header, like in all these other places, maybe invoice sit here. If you look at this, we are saying invoice then new. Okay, so just going to create a folder here, and it is going to have invoice. So just create a new folder which is invoice. Okay, and then in the invoice, I'm just going to create instead of creating a new file. Now here we could just maybe show all the invoices that you have created in the page, but I'm just going to have a new folder called new, so that if we are just on the new, so in the new folder I can create page.jsx. Okay, page.jsx, as simple as that. RFC. It is RFC. And then here I'm just put H2. This says create new invoice. Create new invoice. So if we just go now to that link, let's just go create here. Remember, we have already these links, they are linking to that place. So just click on this, and you see that it is going to this, you see here, invoice, and it is new, and then the word, I think, create invoice, is just hidden behind there. So you can first fix that. So we could just fix that in the layout. Okay, we could just go in our layout and we fix that. Since we know the header is having that, we could just go here, cut this, and put it in margin top 16. I think it was it 16? Let me just go and check. So we can just check the height of the navbar. The height of the navbar is 16. So you could just go in the layout, and then you fix this, the children, we put it on the margin top 16. So that means it will be always solving this problem. Now it will cause one problem if we go back really to this. It will add an extra space for this, but I think it still looks fine. Okay, remember in the hero section, specifically in the hero, we had already put margin top 16, I guess, this here. So you could just remove this now. It is not needed because it will still be put at margin top 16. You can see. Okay, so that is great. Let's go back to this page, create new invoice. So it is on invoice new, and then we can now press our invoice here. Okay, so there are two things we need really. We need to have the form. Let me just close all these things and also basically remove also this. If you just close navbar, close all these layouts, hero, and we only have this page, the create new invoice page. So this should contain two things. Okay, if you think about how you're going to make this, it should have these buttons. Okay, it should have these buttons. That will be the header. So we'll have inside here, we'll have the part for the header. Okay, let me just put the comments here. So we'll have the header. We could just do this. We'll have the header, and then we should have the form, invoice form, and then we should also have down the invoice preview. Okay, we could just have the invoice preview, just like that. Could just have something like this, the invoice form and the invoice preview. So the header is the one which is containing these buttons. Okay, the header is the one which is containing these buttons here. Okay, and I could also, you can see all these buttons. Let me first give the BG. So class name, this one is having BG slate 50. Okay, and then we go to the header. It is holding so we can just put save online. This site maybe save and send, and then just to divide these ones to look nice. Okay, we could just have these where are they? So we have how many buttons? We have these preview, print, download, and then the send and save online. So we could just have this send. We have this side 1, 2, 3, and then inside we have 2 of them. Okay, so I'm just going to work on the header right now. Okay, just in the header it's going to be flex, and then in the flex we should have how many buttons? So we have the button, the first one, sorry, just create again button. Okay, and you could just go and say button 5 times, maybe there are 5 buttons. Okay, and if you check, the first one is preview, so you could have the preview. Okay, and then you're going to put all of them to have icons. So we have preview, and then we have the print, and then we have the download. So we have the download, and then this side we have 2 of them, which is going to be save online and send. Okay, so just have these. So these 2, I'm just going to have these, cut these first 3 and put them also into flex, just like that. And even these last ones, these 2, just cut them and put them into flex, just like that. So this first flex here, let's just say justify between, justify between, just like that. And item center, so here say item center. Now if we do that, we should just have something like this. You can just see we have these 3 first buttons, and then all the buttons, and then these ones are this side. Okay, so we can first work on the padding, or to this. So padding Y, as we have been doing, just make it padding to be 16, and then on small devices, just say padding Y to be 8, and then this one just becomes MD. Okay, and then for PX, so you could just do PX4, and then MD we do PX maybe 16 also, or 18. So if we do that, then we should have something like this. Okay, so you can see where we are right now. Okay, so that is great. Now with these buttons, if you look at them from here, they actually look nice. They have the same depth like this stuff here. Now for this one, I'll just use the card, so you can just go to this, go to search cards. So just search a card here. Okay, search this card here. So these are on, they have a card, and what I like is how it has the you're just going to get a simple card, and then we just start modifying from there. So down here, after this header here, this is the header. This part here is the header. Let me just still put my comment. This is the header. Now we have the invoice. So these two they can be in the same, they will be on a condition, but we're just going to put them there, 2 of them. So on the card, just simply scroll down to the card that has this form. Okay, I just want this one. Just go to this and scroll here, and you can just copy this code, and then you can just come here on this invoice form here, and let's put this, you can just put it in a div for now. Just put in a div just like this. Okay, it shouldn't break anything. What we can just only do is these inputs. So first of all, what I'm not interested in what is inside. Okay, you can just go and really remove everything that is in that stuff. The only thing I'm interested in is So let me just remove this, all these labels. Okay, just remove everything from that card. Let's see, the only thing I'm just interested in, actually just remove the form, everything just in the form, just remove it. I'm interested in this W full max width, and the only thing I just wanted maybe is this. They just used a normal shadow actually. If you just think about it, they just used a normal shadow just like that. I would have really put that. I thought it would be something much better than that, but you can just even just remove these classes for really nothing. We're just going to remove all these dark parts. You can just remove them to, if you are going to implement dark mode. Okay, I'm just removing all those and I'm just leaving it like this. Okay, so this is the stuff we want. Okay, this is the stuff we want, something like this. And we can just give, first of all, also to our buttons. So let me complete with the buttons in a second. So to these buttons, we want to give them icons. So I can first bring in the icons. Let's first see the icons they give them. Like the download is very clear. Download, just come here and let's say download. Just we can just have this one. It always means download, or you could just get the one of the PDF or whatever, but just use that one. So just go to this download here. So we could just use a span. So I'm just going to first put this here just like that, and you can always first import it on top here. So import this from React icons stock AI. Okay, that is great. And then just make this download to be in a span. Just put a span and put this, and just here we can just give a class name. Let's just give flex items center, and just say space x, maybe 3. Okay, let's first look at this, how they look like. Okay, so that looks okay. And let's first give here these buttons, let's give them a gap of 4. Okay, so they are spaced like that. And then this space, maybe this space is too much, let's give it 2 or 1, and just first leave it at that. And then to this we could give this button a shadow. Let's first see how that one works. Shadow, very small shadow. Okay, some padding, so px3. So we could just go and give this button a px of 3, and maybe py of 2, py 2. Let's first see how that one looks like, and let's give it rounded. Okay, so you can just have rounded SM. Let's see what is on this card. They took rounded LG. I just tried SM and see. And let's give a border. I'm just going to give the same border here. So just give border and border grade 200. Okay, to this button, and let's see how it looks now. Okay, so this is our button. Let me first see if I just remove the shadow, how it looks like. Okay, So we could just leave it like that. Let me just make this border, maybe border 2. Let me just make it 2, and I see. Yeah, so you could just leave this border like that, and maybe just make this one to be blue. Okay, to be blue. Yeah, okay, so this is our button, and really it should just be simple like that, not really complicated. And we're just going to do the same thing to all of them. Okay, we just do all of them. So the second one is going to be print, so copy this, okay, and put on this print. So let's change this to print, and let's get a printer. So just get an icon for print or printer. So just get this AI and just go and replace it with this. And the good thing comes from AI, so just put a comma here. Okay, the third one, so we have now 2. Okay, we have now 2. Now the third one is preview. So preview, I don't know what are you going to use. Let's first duplicate this also. So just come here and let me just copy this to this. Just make it preview. Okay, so the preview, let's say preview. I'm not sure if we can have anything for previewing. What can we use on preview? Maybe a window. I don't know. We could just give something like that. Preview. Maybe any of these can still work. Don't need to stress so much looking for the icon. Let me just put this one from BS. So just come here and replace with that. Okay, and import this. So import from React icons BS. Okay, so let's look at how this looks like, how it is coming out. So we have 3 buttons. Okay, and this one blue, I'm going to turn it to first of all 300, and let me make it slate. Okay, since we're using slate, let me just go get this, and let me first look at how it looks like. Slate, yeah, it is more black. Maybe what if I make it just border, and I may make it here select 600. How does it look like? Yep, I think that is more nice than these ones. Okay, I'm just going to go with that. Okay, I'm going with that, guys. So go to every button, replace this, replace even this one. So you can see it is always a try fail scenario, and we don't need them to be so bold like that. This one shouldn't be border 2, should be just be border now. Okay, because this doesn't look nice. Okay, so that is great. We have all our buttons done. Okay, this looks great. Okay, and then maybe padding Y is too much. So you can just check on this padding Y. Can we do 8 since we are optimizing our space? Let me see. Yeah, that is okay. Now let's work on this save online. So we have these two save online and save. So we could just do exactly the same, but maybe we give them the, so just come to the site. First of all, let's give them a gap or so for. So these ones we could just make them really colored, even if we don't give them the icons, but let's just give them icons. Why not? We can just give them icons and really colored, or just maintain the same. We could maintain the same design. Maybe we change the border. So I'm just going to come to the site, to these buttons. Let me just copy one of these buttons here. Just copy one. Let's start with the one of send. So just send this one to send, and let me get the icon of email. So just come here and just say mail. Okay, and let's just get any of these ones. Let me just get this CI. Okay, and let's import C, import, and we're importing this from React icons, CI. As simple as that. Okay, let's see how it looks like. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So these ones we can just change everything to purple. Let's see that. I'm just going to change this to purple. Even the text should be purple. Let me just say here text purple. Text purple 600. Let's see how it looks like. Yep. So here these ones, they have colors, and maybe you just say text same board. So font semi board. Let's see how that one looks like. Okay, it works on that. Let's just also give this to this icon. Just say class name, font same board. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so the icon does not increase, but this one looks okay. I just work the same thing to this save online. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this very button, Ctrl C, and then just come here and then just say save online, or we could just say save to cloud or wherever, and let's just come here and get an icon for cloud, maybe cloud. Okay, so just get the one that faces up. Okay, just get the one that faces up, and I'm just going to come here, save it there, and go this, put it in AI. So here, put that, and we have all our buttons done. Okay, let's see. Yep, so we have all our buttons done, the preview and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so you could also yeah, that is great. So just work on this invoice now. Okay, let's work on this invoice. So the header is done. Now we have the invoice. These paddings, they were supposed to be actually on the container. not on just on the header. Let's just put them there on this container, so that they affect also they affect everything. Yeah, just like that. So I'm just going to go put this margin bottom. So to this header, just give it a margin bottom of about maybe 6. Just try 6, and we see. Yeah, so right now we are doing great. We are doing so great. So what we want is to have now our forms. Okay, would want to have our 2 forms, this one, and if you look at how it is here, they have just tried to utilize this space, but we can just give them why not just leave exactly the way it is. Want it like this. So you could just go ahead and give the dimensions. Okay, let's try to start working on this form here, and I don't actually need an extra div, just put it just like this. Now let's first see some things. Width is full. Now they gave it max width. Now on this max width, let's try. So the max width they gave it here right now, it is 384. Let's try something like 7XL. That is having a width of 28040. 1280. That is too much. Let's try 5. We need something about 800 something, like 840. That is, I think, the width of like an A4. So just try 4. 4x is 896. How about 3 here? 3768. I just stick to 4. Okay, if I just do that, you will see that this will increase in size. Okay, now we can just make sure it is in the center, and by giving it margin, okay, MX auto. So you could just try MX auto, and this should put it something like in the center. Yep, so you can see it is right up in the center. Now for the height, we just continue putting some content until we reach down. Okay, so this let me remove this, create new invoice, this text here. So here in this we have the same card, but then it is going to be the preview. So here we'll have another card down, which will be the preview. So if you see now, we have two cards, which will be now the first one. This one is going to be the form. So if I just say here H2, I'm just going to say this is going to be the form, and then this is going to be the preview. So H2 preview. Okay, so we can't just hide one. Okay, so one is the form, one is the preview. So what we want is, by default we'll be showing the form, and then by then this one is going to be having the preview. Okay, this one is going to be having the preview. So we want to be showing the form. When someone clicks preview, then it turns it, it shows, it hides the form, it shows the preview. So we can do that right now actually, so that we have only work with one. Okay, so I just create a state. So create a state. I'm just creating it as early as possible so that you don't get confused when we actually reach on that. Okay, so just go on top here. This, we just create page. So just create const. Okay, you can just say, call it preview. So preview. So preview. preview, set preview. So we have preview set preview and is equal to use state, and by default let's just make this to be false. Okay, because want to start in the editing mode. Okay, want to start in the editing, so the preview should be by default false. And the only thing we just need is if you click on this button, like the preview, actually any of these button, but just start with the one of preview. So to this button, just add on click. Okay, on click, and this one is just going to be having only one thing it's doing, which is set preview to true. Okay, so this now we're just going to show conditionally. Let's first make this as a client component. Okay, just go on top here. Let's just say use client, since we are using a hook. Use client. Okay, so with that, if I go back, so what I want to say, there's nothing which will change much. Let's first, this was the one of client, use client error. Let's first see, should now be okay. So what we want to do is hide this form based on that state. So the preview should only show if the preview is true. So let me just show this. Let me just go to this. So we want to hide these two, the invoice and then the invoice preview. So I'm just going to write a state. So just cut this and say if preview, okay, if preview is true, we should show something here, and if it is false, we should also show something here. So if it is false, you show this, and if it is true, show this. So if it is true, want to show the sorry, I think I have one error I did. Let me first go back. Might have not copied correctly, so just go minimize all these two divs. So I have this div, there is one div here that is, minimize this, the header, and then we have these two. So cut this and just say if the preview is true, so write this and say if preview is true, so just say question mark, and if it is true we put here, and if it is false we also put here. So first put this here, and let's get this, cut this, and let's come and put it here inside this second one. Okay, so now it should just be properly formatted. Okay, so now if I just go back here, you see that the preview is gone. Now we have the form. If I click the preview, now we are in preview mode, the phone is gone. Okay, so we can hide them. Okay, now the problem is this. Now if we, how do we go to this edit mode? Okay, so first of all, we can, instead of saying set the preview to false, okay, where is the on click? So in the header here, since it is going to be the only one button to reuse that button, so let's just go back to that button. We have to get a way of getting back to the edit mode. So here, instead of doing this, we can set preview to inverse, or we could just say set it to the opposite of whatever is there. So just say of preview, let's say if this one works, so we just get the one which is there, we set the opposite. Okay, so refresh. Of course, by default it has to show the form. Okay, and then if I click this, in a second, if I click this, it shows preview. I click again, it shows the form. Now what I want is also you can just change this text here, show the client that something has changed. Okay, first of all, we could just go here. We also indicate, show these ones, okay, the content inside here on. So you can just say if we are in preview, if preview is true, what we want to show, we could show something. We could show these two. So remember, this is a return statement, so we could just show a div. So I'm just going to put a div here. A div, and put these two errors. So if it is in preview mode, it should show here, it should change here. Let me just go and put errors here first. Change also here, and let's put a div also. And this changes something, by the way. After putting this div, it changes something. But let's just say put here edit. So this one should be preview. This one, if preview is true, then we should just say you can go back to the design, go back to the design, or we could just say edit form here, edit form, back to edit form. And then this, of course, this one has to change. But now let's just see it will change the flex here. I suspected that. So what we can just do is that the problem, we cannot put two components into this. Let me see. I think it cannot work. If we do this, you can see it tells you you cannot, must have one parent component. So that's why I'm using this as a div. So what we just only need to do is just getting this flex from the button, the flex item center space x2, this line here. We can just get that, and we just put it on this div, just like that. Just put this here, and you have to do the same thing to this one. Class name, just add this. Okay, and you can just cut them from the button. Let's see. So just see now. Okay, let's see if it is back. Yeah, so you can see now it is back. So you just click. So if you're just in the form, what is showing right now is a form, so it should show preview. If I click preview and I'm in the preview mode, it says edit form. If I click edit form, it goes back to the form, then it changes this. So you can even change, if you wanted, you could change the colors, or you could entirely change the buttons. Okay, you could entirely change this button using that. Like, instead of doing what you have done inside, you could entirely show two different buttons. Okay, you could entirely show two different buttons. As you can see, already we're having one small thing that here, but since this button is having the click, they just maintain that. So, but you see, we have now this, we can edit form. We are in the preview now. You click here and we're in the form. Okay, that is great. So I wanted to show you that one, so that now we can move on well. Okay, so now next, what we want to work on is the form. So the form has to look something like this. Okay, the form has to look something like this. So we have this, the upload, with the invoice name here, and then we have all these details. Okay, so they just put these ones very well. So I'm just going to go into, so we could just have this whole preview in another component. Let me just do that actually. So this whole, where is the preview? So this preview here, so as to avoid the clutter that is going to be here in the preview, we could just create a new component. So this is the form preview. So just come to this and call it form preview dot jsx rfc. So just say rfc. So this is the form preview. I'm just going to go back to this page. I can just cut whatever is inside here. Okay, cut it, and here you can just say form preview, just like that. And in the form preview, let me return this here. This shouldn't change anything. The only thing we should change is that now we are getting the preview, we are getting it from another component, which is really cool. Okay, which is really cool. And if you wanted also, you could also put the form in another place, but just leave the form here. Okay, so we only have the form into this space here. Okay, because we still want just to control some of the things here. Okay, so the only thing I just need now is working on the form. So let's just start working on the form. Okay, let's start working on the form. The form is going to look like this. So we have the upload logo. So yes, going to, on these uploads, we are going to use, of course, we are going to use the Cloudinary to handle the uploads. In the future, when you are sending this data to the API to store it, we'll use uploads, and then we can just add these details, all these ones. Okay, so let's just work onto this. So the first one is this, the header part, which is having the logo plus the invoice. So let's just come here, inside here. So we have this first part, which is a flex. So just say, I'm just going to be putting here. So this is the image, and so just say image and invoice label, invoice label, just like that. So just put the flex here. So put flex, and inside this flex we have the image now. So here we'll have the image upload, and then down here we're just going to have h2. So just have h2 of which says invoice. Okay, which says invoice, and let's just give this a class. Okay, a class name which is text. Let's say for Excel, and let's say you could just say so text transform capital text uppercase. I don't know, is it upper text uppercase? Yes, I think you just put uppercase. Just see, yeah, just simply put uppercase, and then we can just say font board or same board, whatever. Let's try that and see. Okay, so the word invoice is only here. Okay, that is big enough. So this side we want to put the image upload. So what we can do is we can also give it a width here. We give it a width, but we can just get this upload from byte. So just come here and say input file. So you can just say input input, and you could just even actually just say file. file input. Okay, the only thing you just need to know is there is this the old version. Okay, there is old version, and then there is, sorry, I clicked on the upload, sorry, and then there is this drop zone. So if you just continue down, they have this drop zone. So we want something like this, or that we just customize it. We give it the width and height. So simply copy this. Okay, so I don't think if you upload something here you see the preview, do you? Let me see. Wow, so you actually see it replaces the preview. We look at that, how to do. They have these two buttons which hang around. We could also look at that functionality. When you upload, they get the image and then they put it there. That would be really cool. So but right now what you just need to do is putting the input here, and everything has to be inside a form, guys. So everything we are going to do has to be in a form, and this could actually be a form. So turn this into a form, and let me see, it has changed. Yeah, and this shouldn't change anything. Let's first go and check. It shouldn't change anything. Yeah. So because at the end of the day this has to be submitted. Okay, has to be submitted. So now let me just go here, get this image, and let me paste this here, and this is just going to be, we're just going to edit some of these things. Now if we just go in the customization of this, you see they're actually just having a normal div, and then they're styling it. The most important thing is to know that the all styles actually happen on the label. Okay, these whole styles, if you want to start styling this input, everything has to be inside the label. So you can see inside the label, and this is to show you one thing. If you want to customize this thing here, you have the label. Okay, and then inside it, that's why you actually have the input. Where is it? So apart from this, you see that they have the icon. This one is an icon. We are going to replace this with an icon, an actual one. Then they have these details, and you see that inside down there they have this input, and the input is not doing anything, is hidden. If I remove this hidden class, you can actually see that it is also there. It is here, choose file. So they just actually hide this and they put it inside, and then that means wherever you click is as if you are actually clicking on this. That's why they put it inside. So wherever you click, whether this corner or this corner, wherever, it is actually just this. So just put back the hidden, and you're just going to replace everything that is having class with class name. So select class. Okay, and this is going to just select class equals. So just select class equals, because yeah, and then Control H. So say Control F to find all of them, and Control H to replace. So replace with class name equals. This will change everything while there is class. And then another thing, with this icon we can just put ours. We don't need to rely on to this SVG. Let's just put like one of this one. We already have the upload one, so let's just go to this, go and get the upload. Let me just copy one icon which says save online. Just get this one and let's replace it with this SVG. SVG has a lot of code, so remove this one, and we can just look at the height. Okay, you could also give that height, and then margin bottom, and then even text. So you just first put here, so put this here like that, copy this class name, and just give this whole class name to this. Now we can go ahead and hide this, remove it. Let's see. Okay, so we have our own icon that is much better. Now if you just look at this, remove this. So they have this, of course, theirs, and even the words, and then they have these ones. So first we're just going to make it, we're not going to design it like this. You could just go ahead and also put like this text here. Just only have this drop zone, and we're just going to make it small, and we remove other words. So the only thing, just say upload logo, and they have given you the size 240 by 240 pixels. So just come here, just go to this. So down here, just say upload logo, as simple as that, upload logo. Okay, so everyone just knows it is a drag and drop. So even if I don't put drag and drop, or drag a logo, maybe you can just say drag and drop logo or something. And then here in this P, we can just also leave this, and this one is 240 by 240. Just say PNG. Actually, just leave the PNG or JPEG, only these two, not GIF, not anything. And then, in fact, just even leave like the best one should be a PNG or a PNG, and then let's put maximum size is 240. So here I just say 240 by 240. So here say 240 by 240. Okay, just like that. Let's see now how it looks like. We just don't want a lot of words, so just see here. Okay, so just now customize the size. So they are controlling the size from, so you can see here, justify width here, and they have this height of 64. We can just reduce height to something like 12 first of all, and then in the width, we're having width full, so we just have to give this also width some let's just also 12. Let's see how this one looks like. Okay, so of course much better. The width has to be more than that, just say 24. Okay, now these words, the icon, everything is getting outside, but you're just going to customize this in a second. Okay, and it should just be that, actually that size. If you look at the invoice, maybe much bigger. Just make the height to be 24, and then width, just make it 48, and see what happens now. Okay, yeah, this is much better. Yeah, this is much better. So the only thing is now working on with this. First of all, how many icons do we need? We could just only put the icon and upload logo. So other text, we can remove them. And all these things of hover, what, you can just actually remove most of these things here. Like dark, hover, BG. So let me first remove these to reduce on this. It looks like too much. just to remove this. Okay, so you can now see they are manageable now. Justify, we have width, border gray, and you can see border dashed, rounded LG cursor pointer, BG gray 50, hover BG ground 100. Yeah, okay, so that is okay. So now let's start working with these things here. First of all, the icon, let's reduce it. Let's make it 6, even here 6. And then let's go to this p tag and then just say upload logo. Other things, let's remove them. And then even this one, I think they're in a flex here. Let's see now how it looks like. Okay, they are all inside now. There is a margin bottom, I guess, on the icon. So let's go and see. There is this margin bottom 4. Remove it. Okay, so now it looks much better. It looks much better. So now we have to put this side by side. Just go back to this flex, justify. So first of all, it has to have justify between and item center, just like that. So we just have this one here. I don't know what is. Let's just first give it a BG green, maybe 400. I just want to see what is that container, because it is not taking this whole thing. Okay, so I'm wondering, this one is at the extreme end, then this one is not going at this extreme end. Clearly there must be something that is stopping it. So if you go to this, it has width full. Okay, which you can first remove that. Okay, so now it's okay. Okay, so we have these, we have them side by side, which this really helps us. Let me remove this BG green. Okay, this is BG green. Okay, so this looks okay. Now you could just leave aligning item center so that this one moves up, or you could just also just leave it like that. Let's first look at this. Yeah, so they are also aligned. Here they are aligned. Okay, they are aligned. I think that one looks okay. That is great. We are moving on well, so we can now change this. Image can be uploaded. Now this label, you could just also make it an input, and I'm not going to make it an input. I'll just leave the invoice as the name. Then go down, we have this, the 1 2 3 4 5. So this country, I'm just going to make it also input. Just going to say country instead of giving a select. I'm just going to use the name. So you have 4 inputs, 1 2 3 4. So I'm just going to go to, so this first part is done, of the image and the invoice label. Okay, this part is done. So down here, let's put, now we are going on to this company details. Let's just say company details. So company details. Okay, so we could just give this. Let's give this a div. Is going to be also a flex dot flex. Okay, and of course it's going to be flex flow, flex core. So just a flex core. So down here, let's go ahead and put these 1 2 3 4 5. So I have 5 inputs, 1 2 3 4 5. So input 5 times, I'm just going to say input times 5. You can just say times 5. So we have 5 inputs. Okay, they are all text. Okay, let's first give them placeholders. Your company, so the first one, placeholder, your company. So just say your company. The second one is your name, company address. So you have your name, then company address, and then another one is the city, comma, state zip. So just say city, comma, state zip, and then this, they are not types, by the way, they are onto placeholders. Sorry. So this is type text, then these are supposed to be placeholders, placeholder, and then even this here, this is type text, but then the placeholder, just like that. And then even this one, city, this is type text, and then placeholder, just like that. Now this one, the last one is the country, so placeholder, country, just say country, e.g. USA, just like that. Let's see how they look like. Yep, so this is how they look like. Not so bad. Okay, not so bad. So you can just now start customizing them. First of all, we can just give them a width, so you don't let them occupy a lot of space. So here, if we said, for instance, width, let's say a quarter. I don't know if this one will be interpreted into like a quarter. Let's see. Yep. So just want them like this side here. It takes like about maybe a half actually. Just give them a half. And let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is great. So they are taking like a half of the space. Now, first of all, they have come with their own styles, so you have to work on these styles. Okay, for instance, we can just first style only one, and then we just transform to others. So give this input a class name. First of all is the border none. So border, I don't know how do we put border none. Let me just go to Tailwind. Okay, just go to the border. So here, border, maybe border width or border style, I don't know, border width. So border 0, this will be, I think, none maybe. They just say border 0. Okay, if you just say border 0, let's see if it goes. Yeah, so you just want border 0 on all of them. Okay, so that is great. So just copy this class name. We'll be accumulating it as we go. So on all these inputs, they just give them some class name. Okay, just like that. So at least we have one thing, they don't have the borders. Okay, and then we can also just say on outline, it is how they are giving that. Let's see. If you just go here, click, but the outline actually is there, but the padding is really small. And so we could just go and say padding on the inputs. Okay, let me just go on the class name. Let's say put padding, and let's say padding of 1. Let's see what this one gives us. Does it? Yeah, somehow this reduces to a small padding. Okay, and there is a way they are not having enough spacing. Let me just put margin bottom of maybe 1 or 2. Just say 2, and see very well the output. Okay, so this is how the output looks like. Okay, so let's just also give this a space by giving it maybe margin top, the form, not the form, but actually this. So here, this one, let's give it margin top about 6 maybe, so that it pushes it down from this other stuff. Yeah, so now we have this, which is cool. Let's look at one thing I want to still get from these ones. Okay, actually the font is bigger, so the font, so you could just change also the font. So change the font to text, text maybe base. Let's first look at the text base, how will it work like. So company, I think this is good enough. This is good enough. Okay, that is good enough. Okay, next, let's be filling in other things. We see, so we have this input, and to my is, I think is okay. You can see they have they are on focus. I think that color on focus is also okay. So you can just leave this color, okay, or you could just say on focus. So you can just check here the focus state, for instance, focus. Okay, so they have the focus, how you can select the focus. So you can just say focus, for instance, outline 9. So you have this, okay, or you can just say focus, focus ring. Then you can also give the ring violet 300. Let's just say this, so that we just see what happens if we give like focus ring. So if you just go on this company and just give this, okay, let's go back to our site. So this time you can see the focus changes. Okay, I don't like that focus, but you could just have that there. So just going to remove this. They just leave the default one. It is okay. This default one is really okay. So just transfer all these styles to all of them. The only thing that's remaining is the placeholder. I would want to fade it more, but it looks fine. If you look at what they have here, this looks fine. Okay, but if you wanted to style the placeholder, you could, I think, also search placeholder text. Okay, so you can see here they are selecting it using the placeholder, and then you can start giving it colors or things. So you can just see text slate or what, and by using this placeholder text slate 400, if we did that, let's see, you see it actually changes, which is actually nice. Text slate 300 looks nice. We're just going to transform that, all of them. So just copy this class, these classes. Okay, just Control C, just go to all of them, and to the class name, just paste this. Okay, to this, and then this, Okay, so this. Okay, so now we are done. Okay, so all the details are here. So you have the name, you have your name here, you have the all these details. So you can just see this is sub, for instance. Okay, your name, and I say maybe JB Web, company address, maybe Kampala, and then you see, of course, this one you could just put maybe a more stuff, something like you can just like put, and then here you can just say maybe city is Kampala, and then the country is Uganda, just like this. So you can just have like, now you can see all these are details the client is filling in, and you can just like change them. Okay, so this is great. Okay, I like this how we are moving. Maybe let me see, we could just reduce still I don't know if the text input is still big. Okay, I don't know if the input is still big. On this one you can change it, I don't know, but this looks okay. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, we still have all our height, we have all this space, so it's okay. So just move on, and we are moving on to the part where we have the only thing we could change is maybe the font. We can just change the font, not the font. We just said text base. Maybe can we change the height? I don't know if you gave it height like 4 or 3, if this affects it. Let's first check what happens if you give something like an input height. Wow, actually it reduces. Okay, so it means we can control the height. So just say about 6. Okay, so the 6 now is working. 6 looks really fine. Let's look at this. Maybe that was 7 or 8. Let's just give 8 and see. 8 looks like the one we had. Let me see. Yeah, the one you have is 8. So just say 6, just to make them maybe really somehow small, like to have more space. You could just come here and make them this small. Can I try 7? Let's see. Okay, so just try 7 is okay. So just add a height 7 to all of them. Input, just add height 7, height 7. Okay, just try height 7. Okay, so finally we are here. So we have now the setting we're going to be using on most of them. So you see height 7 really works really well. Okay, so we have that done. Now what we want is going and we go to the build to, so we have the same thing now here. Okay, we have the same thing, only that we have now the labels. Okay, this time we have some labels, and so I'm just going to copy this stuff we had on top, these ones here. I'm just going to duplicate this to use them down. So down now we have more shipping details. These ones, or you could just say maybe client details, build to. So down here I just see client details, just like that. And let's have a div or a flex. Okay, I just have a flex, just like that. And then inside let's put this. So if we just do that, we'll have more stuff down here, which is okay. So how many do they have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this build2 is going to be a label. So I'm just going to go to the first one. Okay, client details. So instead of putting this here, I'm just going to change this one to h2, and I'm just going to say build2, just like that, and then give it a class name and give it margin bottom 2. As simple as that. Let's see. So I have the build2 here. Now I need some more details this side. Okay, I need more details that side, and so we could use grid, but what you can just simply do is duplicating this, just duplicating this, just like that. Now we have some other stuff this side here, and we can just go to the flex. We give justify between. So here on top here on this flex, just give justify between, and then say, yeah, justify between only. We don't need to say items center. So this will push this, and it's because of the width. You can just first give bg. I always give something like bg green 300, just to look at this div. So this is the div we are working with. Okay, but then it is not respecting the justify. I think it is because of the width we have onto these items. Let's first remove the width and see, which I will just have to put back by just for CNC. Okay, so this build2 now, they all go and occupy these spaces equivalent to, okay, so this is okay. This is really entirely okay. If you check on this, they are still occupying. Actually, it is okay. Just leave them with width a half. This one will just be pushed. You can see even this one starts from here. So this one also be pushed to this side here. Well, now we are going to start with labels this side. So they are occupying width a half or so, just like that. Let's give a gap instead. So remove this green, replace it with a gap of 4. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so now this is looking good. Okay, so instead this side we have to give these invoice. So they have labels, the inputs have labels. So you're just going to do for the other side. So you can first minimize this first side, and this second side, it has no this heading. So remove that. So for each input, this side has a label, like you have is invoice number, and then like it has this. So just go and do that. So for each input has a label. So just cut this. This first one is for the invoice number. So you have to put it in a flex. Okay. For each of them, just put in a flex. And this one, the first one is going to be a label. A label for this one is invoice number. So you can just say invoice number. Okay, and then just come here, paste. So put the label first. The label is invoice number. Just put invoice and the hashtag, just like that. And then on the label, just put a label here, which is like you just put invoice maybe 200 or 202. That is the placeholder. So let's see how it looks like. Okay, so you can see we have the invoice. Let's give them a gap. So just work on one and then replace with all of them. So just give there a small gap of 2. Let's see how that one works. Okay, so this is great. This is great. The only thing, you have to make this bold. So just go ahead and give a class to a label. So class name to a label. Okay, just give it text. In fact, just a font, same bold. Okay, just do like that. We don't need to increase the font size, but we can just give it this. Okay, so this is great. Though the color, we can change the color. Okay, so just change the text, slate 400. Let's see how that one looks like. Okay, that is, maybe just make it 500. Okay, maybe 600. No. So just stay with 500. And then this one can be font bold. Okay, so this is the one we want. So just going to get all these other fields, invoice date and due date, all of them is going to use that. Okay, so just simply copy this flex with the input. So just copy this one and we are replacing this. Now for this one, it is invoice. For this one is the invoice date. So these two, they are dates. Text, this one type is date. Okay, and this input, so the input here, it has to be invoice date. Okay, and this one is invoice also date. Let me see. Okay, so it puts this this one, and we could just look at the default from this side. Input date, input date, just say date, you never know. So they have the date picker. I don't think we need a date picker at all costs. We don't need a date picker, but they have a plugin for the date picker. I'm not going to go into that plugin, but they have this nice plugin. But just work with this. Just work with this one. It will simply work. Okay, this one will simply work. Just leave it like that. Let's also put this second one, which is the due date. So this side we have one more, which is due date. Just copy the invoice date and we replace it with the second one. So this one here, remove these two, and even this one. Okay, so this one is type date, and then you can just you can just also change this to due date, due, and even this is due date. Okay, due date, input type is date, and these placeholders, they don't work there. So on the date, you don't need to give the placeholder. The date, even this first one, let me just go and remove the placeholder. So there is no need of a placeholder on the date. Okay, so now let's look at how it looks like. Okay, so we have something like this. So you have the invoice number, you can type in, and then you can also select the date. Okay, now this side on the left, we have how many? Your client's company. So just go and change things on the left. So just minimize this. So on the left, you're just only changing this one. Let's also give it text, font, and bold maybe. Okay, just like that. So this one, the first one is your client's company, your client's company. Okay, and then we have to change the okay, that is okay. Then we have this, another one is client's address. So this one is client's address. So just take your time, by the way, take your time and fill in all these things. Then city state remains the same. So this is the client city state. When we are putting on change, we will make sure that they don't actually be the same like these ones. So then you have this also, the country, the same thing. So just leave these ones the same. Okay, and that's it. Let's see how it looks like now. Okay, so this is how it looks like. We have the bill to, we have this side where we have the invoice. So the invoice is moving on so far so well. Okay, we are moving on so far so well, designing the form. Okay, so we have the table, and then we have the notes, and then the footer. Okay, so we have these all these ones, and I feel like the video is really going very far, so we can just stop from here, and then we can just resume in the next episode. So if you like the content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share the videos, like the content, so that we can continue making more content for you. So let's just continue in the next video, where we add this table, and then we also add some of these functionalities, like adding a new line. If someone clicks like this, it adds a new line. So just going to do this in the next video. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.